It's your real fake news update, not brought to you by Pfizer. We're going to look at the Glastonbury concert that happened out in the UK. This is a 4-day festival, and the big news is the Free Palestine movement got very loud. It got extremely loud. It got so loud that there were repercussions, and the person that took the hit, the duo that took the hit, is Bob Dylan. Let's look at CNN's report on what happened and the consequences of his behavior of standing up against genocide, standing up for Palestinians, and calling out the real terrorists, which are the IDF. Okay, let's see what CNN reports on. Bob Dylan's Israeli military chant prompts U.S. visa cancellation and U.S. criminal probe. Oh, wow. Military chant? An Israeli military chant. I guess they're saying that might be a criminal thing to do. Okay, well, let's look a little closer at this one. Here we go. I'm not seeing this on my screen. Give me a second, guys. Let me bring it up on another one. But I'm picking you guys can see it. So that's good enough. Okay. Here we go. Members of the British punk rap duo Bob Dylan had their visas revoked by the U.S. and are under investigation by local police after leading a crowd to chant death to Israel's military at a UK music festival this past weekend. Monday, the U.S. Deputy Secretary of State, Christopher Landau, said that the State Department has revoked the U.S. visas for the members of the band in light of their hateful tirade. As they were leading the crowd in death chants. He added that foreigners who glorify violence and hatred are not welcome visitors to our country. The group was slated to go on a U.S. tour. We saw, actually, they were supposed to come here in November. It starts in October. Apparently, that's not happening anymore. The State Department instituted an aggressive visa restriction and policy for alleged support for terrorism. And of course, anti-Semitism. The third biggest festival, which is Glastonbury, the main rapper, Bobby Dylan, he was on the stage and he shouted "Free, Free Palestine" before leading the crowds to chants against the Israeli military. The video that shows the rapper shouting into the mic, all right, but have you heard the one? This one, though, death, death to the IDF. That's Israel Defense Forces. On Monday, the BBC admitted that with hindsight, the performance should have been pulled from air during the performance, saying that the corporation respects freedom of expression, but stands firmly against incitement to violence. The anti-Semitic sentiments expressed by Dylan were utterly unacceptable and have no place on our airways. Dylan's music incorporates a variety of genres, with lyrics that often confront social issues such as racism, sexism, and economic inequality. Well, that's interesting. CNN let us know what the band usually does, which is very consistent. They confront social issues such as racism, sexism, and economic inequality. So, shockingly enough, according to this, what this article is telling us, that they went off the rails and are doing something that's the opposite of that, even though we know that fits exactly into confronting social issues, which would be, bare minimum, the inequality of Palestinians not being represented in any way, shape, or form, just on basic terms of their right to live, which seems to be something we're not allowed to do when we chant Free Palestine. So when you target the IDF and say these are the people, these are the actual terrorists that are murdering Palestinians every day and celebrating the murder of innocent babies and women and children and men and all sorts of people that they're just annihilating and targeting. When we point that out, that by definition, according to all the major news companies, is the terrorism. So as you guys know, as you can see, we are living in a very backwards world right now. Okay. So hold on here. Let me get my, Okay, here we go. So, to follow up with that, here's Sky News giving us the breakdown of the consequences to the performance.
Now, we've got some breaking news for you regarding that story at Glastonbury. The police have announced, Avon and Somerset Police, that they are launching a criminal investigation into the performances by Kneecap and Bob Vylan we were just talking about there. I can bring you, I think, a little of the statement that the police have issued. They've said video footage and audio from Bob Vylan and Kneecap's performance at the Glastonbury Festival on Saturday has been reviewed. Following the completion of that assessment process, we've decided further inquiries are required and a criminal investigation is now being undertaken. A senior detective has been appointed to lead this investigation. This has been recorded as a public order incident this time, while our inquiries are at an early stage. The investigation will be evidence-led and will be closely consider all appropriate legislation, including relating to hate crimes.
Hate crimes, that's right, hate crimes. So an open criminal investigation, revoked visas, setting an example. You have the BBC apologizing profusely for just not turning off the feed immediately when he started chanting his horrible things, because as we know, the only people that are violent apparently are the people that are calling out the IDF and their war crimes and their terrorism and their targeting of innocent people. Because, you know, Israelis, they don't behave that way, right? They don't do that, because if they did, we would hear about it and we would hear about penalties for them as well. It's not like the Israelis chant death to Arabs or burn Palestine to the ground, burn their villages down. It's not like they do stuff like that, right? May Gaza be erased. You know, maybe the BBC should have had cameras on this festival, and that would have qualified their standard for what is acceptable TV airing or not. Because Gaza being erased and villages being burned to the ground, that's a little more appropriate with nonviolence ideals, right? I mean, that would be the thing, and I would hope that CNN would make that point. But of course, they don't, because they're all protecting the Israel narrative that this doesn't actually happen, and these are just one-off incidents. Yeah, that's probably a one-off incident, Matt. That's just, you dug one up, and just that's a weird dude that did that, and people were very upset about it, and it'll never happen again. Well, except for this. A good Arab is a dead Arab. A good Arab is a dead Arab. That's not inflicting any violence. That's not suggesting any violence of any sort, right? Well, okay, Matt. So that's going on over in Israel. If that happened here, if that happened like here in the U.S., we wouldn't tolerate that, right? Right? What about in New York? Oh, I thought I saw CNN's logo. Oh, that's not CNN's logo. That's right. They probably missed this. I mean, this is not like this is happening right here on the East Coast in New York. This is what's happening. The chant is death to Arabs. Just if you guys missed that part, the chant is death to Arabs that they're doing in Hebrew. The chant is death to Arabs, just to be clear.
Your dumb voice is going on TikTok. You're going on everything. You're fucking
Okay, well, that's a lot. Of course, that's really bad, and it's bad that CNN doesn't cover that, and it's bad that BBC doesn't cover that, and they're so concerned about their festival where you're calling out the IDF. What about the children? It's not like the children are doing this kind of stuff, right? It's not like the children. It's the Palestinian children. They're the ones that are growing up. If they get too old, they're going to become terrorists. So we have to kill the babies before they grow up to become terrorists, right? That's the Palestinians. The Israeli children, they don't behave like that, right? They would never get together and like sing a song about murdering and annihilating Gaza, right? Oh, I guess they're about to sing a song called "We Will Annihilate Everything in Gaza." And this song, this song was videos created by a public relations firm. Oh no. Autumn night falls over the beach of Gaza. Planes are bombing, destruction. Look, the IDF is crossing the line. Those are the good guys, remember? To annihilate the swastika bearers. Let's annihilate them. In another year, there'll be nothing there. And we will safely return to our homes within a year. We will annihilate everyone. And then we will return to plow our fields. What part is worse? The annihilating every single person, every single human being in Gaza, or is the worst part what they do after that, which is return to their homes, right? Their homes and plow their fields. Which is worse? Well, murdering people is the worst, but the mindset of this is ours and we will take it is also part of the mantra, and it's taught very, very early to young kids in Israel. But of course, that's not the discussion we're going to have. We're going to talk about a rapper on stage, not just say, we say free Palestine every day, and they've already said that's hate speech. So he's taking the next step. He's saying death to the IDF. Now, you can have a problem with that and say, well, it's a little too far. It's a little too far. Okay, have that conversation. But while you're having that conversation, I choose instead to take a look at the actual IDF and what they're doing. What is the IDF up to? This is a interesting little gathering. I guess this is some sort of what do you call this? Kind of a moral compass boosting that they do, like before they go into murder mode, or maybe this is getting them ready for murder mode. That's what this is. I'm coming to occupy Gaza. I stick by one mitzvah. Wipe off the seed of Amalek. Wipe off the seed. So that's the actual IDF. These are the people that we're supposed to protect their feelings, right? We don't want them to think that we have any critique of their behavior. Well, why is it so? I know. I got it. I got an idea. Maybe it's just that adrenaline. You're with the boys, right? You have to do, it's kind of like locker room talk, right? Grab them by the pussies. It's locker room talk, right? Murder all those people. Murder all the people in Gaza. Yeah. Maybe someone just needs to go fly over there and have a little heart to heart with these guys. Let them know that they shouldn't be doing this anymore. That would be a good idea, right? Why don't we send over a trusted podcaster that we all know and love? Of course, I'm being facetious. Let's see. Destiny. That's a good choice. Let's bring Destiny over there. He can have a heart to heart with these guys so they don't behave like this anymore.
Israel has unique issues. Here's the one piece of advice I'll give you, okay? If you're joining the IDF, okay? Leave your fucking cell phone at home and stop taking stupid fucking videos, okay? Because everybody's fucking you with them, okay? And if you see... If you see a soldier, okay, going through a fucking drawer, and listen, if you want to fucking wear a dress and you think it's funny, just don't fucking take a fucking video picture of it, okay? Jesus. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good lesson. If you're going to commit war crimes, if you're going to commit disgusting, despicable acts like murdering innocent children and women, going through their house, looking for stuff that you think is funny and putting on dresses of the dead women you just murdered, make sure you don't post it on TikTok or Instagram. You don't want the rest of the world to know how maniacal you are, how psychotic you are. That's the advice. Don't let the world see it. Be more like Nazis, because Nazis covered their tracks a little better. They were more aware, I would say self-aware, that it would look bad to the rest of the world. So be more like Nazis. You're a little too much even for Nazis because you're showing off, you're bragging, and you think it's effing cool what you're doing. And so this is, again, a reaction from the Socialist Voice, reaction from the incredibly awful punishment that Bob Villan received. The IDF soldiers have been pictured in Gaza wearing dead women's clothes, riding dead children's bikes, posing in destroyed buildings with death to Arabs, graffitied on the walls, inciting missiles destined for Gaza. But we must not say death to the IDF because it upsets them. Oh, look at that. Some pictures to back it up. There's plenty of these. This is just an example. There's the women's clothing. There's riding the bicycles. They didn't just discover these. They murdered the families, and then they put on the clothes and rode the bikes of the kids that they just murdered. And they're very happy to show off to us. Look at that. Eating some, whatever you're eating there, with writings on the wall, disgusting stuff on the wall, which I can't translate here, but it's disgusting. Here you go. Here's a missile. This is going to go kill some more people. Disgusting. So there you go. That is the actual IDF and how they behave. Not bad apples. Not we have to get rid of the bad apples and get things back to the way they need to be. That's what that is. And let's end this segment because this is a real fake news update. And I would assume that the left in America, the left, our lefty leaders, they would be the first to speak up about this, correct? Because we have such a radical lefty problem here in this country with all of our Bernies and AOCs. And now you got Mondati. You got all these. Oh, my God, we're going way too far left. And when you go too far left, you must have something to say about defending what happened at this concert and maybe calling out some of the stuff we just showed you on this show because they're way too far left. Who's going to do it? Bernie, why don't you go on TV and tell us what the greatest problem is right now?
The Republican Party has not just become a right-wing extremist party. In many cases, it's become like a Stalinist party, a cult of the individual. And what the party is about now is that Trump says something, and if you have an independent thought, if you disagree with Mr. Trump, if you think maybe what he's proposing doesn't work for your constituents, you're out of here.
Sounds very familiar, Bernie. Sounds like exactly the party you've been aligned with for the last however many years that we don't fall for it anymore, but how many people have been falling for the fact that you've been aligned with the same damn thing. And that's your big message to the people right now. You got nothing else to say. You're not, and again, this is our radical lefty. This is what we got. We have too much of these guys just spewing off their anti-Semitism. No, he's got nothing to say. The news stations have nothing to say about this story. And that silence is your real fake news update. Not brought to you by Pfizer.